Hello, I am pink again because we are reviewing another Sakura themed snack box, the April Sakuraco box, Arrival of Sakura. Sadly, nobody sponsored this box, so I don't have anyone to thank this time. But the May Boxu is here, and the May Sakuraco is on its way, so if you would like to sponsor either of those, and maybe pick the character that I review them as, you can do that through the wish lists that I will link in the description. And now let's look at this box. So the first thing in this box I had a bit of a fight with. It is a Sakura Warabi Mochi. And I thought because it had a flower in it, it would be nice to like put it on a plate and show you, except the fact that it's extremely wet and I didn't really realize that. I had a raindrop mochi in another box that was kind of like this, but it was slightly less wet than this somehow, and also it had a powder that you put on top of it. And this one had a syrup, so it got even wetter, which is extremely unfortunate. Anyway, this is what it looks like. I can't even like tip it for you because it will fall right off the plate. And it's just like, it's so soft that it's hard to even like do anything with it. I feel like I should have just left it in the plastic bubble that it came in. This was a huge mistake. I thought at first that they'd put it on a plate in the book for the picture, but no, they didn't. They put the whole plastic container on a plate. And I see why. Anyway, it's extremely floral tasting. It's supposed to be like Sakura honey or something. Yeah, that's really sticky. It tastes good, but this is very floral. I was saying before, I think there's like 3 different Sakura flavors for me. One of them is barely perceptible at all. One of them is tastes like cherry, and one of them is tastes like flowers. And that one tastes like flowers, which to me isn't a bad thing because I like rose flavored stuff, and it's kind of like that. So the next thing is Sakura Competo, which was not really Sakura flavored at all. It's just Sakura themed. So Competo is like a little Japanese candy. They're kind of like little hard sugar lumps, and these ones are no exception. They're just Sakura themed because they're pink and white. I can't get a white one out. And they just taste like sugar. So I like them a lot. But they just taste like sugar lumps. They taste like rock candy. If you've ever had that like rock candy on a stick. I mean, sometimes they say those are flavored and sometimes they are, but sometimes they just taste like sugar, and that's... These just taste like sugar. So the next thing is a Sakura Castella cake, or was. Now, in the boxu we had a Sakura Castella, and I thought it would be the same, because it looked the same. But this one had a stronger flavor. This was the cherry part of the Sakura. And this was a lot lighter and more moist than the other one. If you watched my boxer review, you'll remember that I was disappointed in the texture of that cake because it was a little bit dry and kind of dense. This one was a better texture, I thought, and it had a stronger flavor. Next, we have a Sakura Mochi. It's just a little square of mochi. This one tasted floral. It was really good. There were 2, so I already ate one. It's really soft. And it's a pretty strong flavor. And it was very flowery. So that was nice. I always like these. I love these really soft mochi things. We haven't had Currento in a while, and here's some Sakura Currento. And it looks weird, because this has cherry leaves in it. And you can't really tell too much on the camera, but it's a little bit green tinted. And I looked at it, was like, why is it weirdly green? And then I read the description, and it says that it has cherry leaves in it. These also taste very floral. Not a bad thing. And they're pretty okay texture. I feel like I've had lighter Carinto, but I've also had more solid Carinto, so they're kind of in between. Now the next thing is these Sakura shortbread cookies. Now there's 2 of them. I kept a piece of each. I thought they were going to be the same because they came in the same package, but one is like, I guess, vanilla or whatever, and the other one's chocolate. Otherwise, they're the same. They have this Sakura jam cream stuff in the middle, which is a lot more noticeable in the light cookie than this one, because this one obviously tastes like chocolate, so the chocolate kind of competes with it a little bit. I mean, I don't want to say competes with it because they go well together, but this one tastes more just like Sakura, and this one, there's definitely a big chocolate flavor in there. But they were both really good. They were a good texture. They'd be a really good tea cookie, I think. Now, these are hard to leave one intact because they're so cute. I'm going to take it out so you can see it. So this is a Sakura soft chew. And apparently this is like some kind of traditional Japanese sweets that were originally developed to go with tea ceremonies. This one did have like a mild floral flavor. And it's just so cute. Because it's Sakura shaped. So yeah, it didn't have a super strong flavor, but I feel like most of the point of these is to be like decorative and cute and fancy. So it definitely succeeded on that front, but it also doesn't taste bad at all. It just tastes like really sweet and a little bit floral. So these are really good, and I'm glad they came in a bigger bag. They're Sakura cookies, and they taste a bit like, okay, not taste so much, but they have the texture kind of like Danish butter cookies. And also they're in that shape, like usually there's little pretzel shaped Danish butter cookies. But yeah, they're a wheat-based cookie, and they have, what kind of Sakura? Cherry blossoms! These, they smell like cherry, and they taste like cherry, to me anyway. So these are really good, and I look forward to eating more of those later. They'd probably also go good with tea. And speaking of tea, this was so exciting, and I didn't really expect it to taste as good as it did, honestly. Because I thought this was mainly for, like, the wow factor, but no. So this is sweet Sakura tea. And it's basically just like, I guess, preserved cherry blossoms. So I made it in a clear cup so that you can see them. Ooh, flowers. They're really pretty. And it tastes, it's really mild, and it's a little bit salty and a little bit sweet. It does say, I read, that you can rinse them if you want it to be a milder flavor in the tea. And I guess that gets out some of the salt that they use to preserve it. But I kind of like the very slight saltiness, and as I do when there's 2 of them, I took one of these over to my friend to make it into a milk tea. And we didn't know, because I hadn't opened this one yet, obviously, because I opened it for this. We didn't know exactly what it was going to be like. And she opened it, and she was like, these are just flowers. And at first she didn't know if it was going to work as a milk tea. But it was surprisingly good. It actually turned out really nice. And I liked the milk tea version. But I also like this version because, yeah, it's a lot milder than like the green tea or the hojicha we've had from them. It has a very light floral taste. And it's sweeter than most things tea-wise that we've had. Like, they all at least have a bit of bitterness in them. This has none. So that's pretty, and it's Good. So, it's also so different from all the other tea I've had in either box. So, I was happy with it. Ooh, this thing was really good. There was two and I ate one. I don't know what a donut bowl is, but that's this. It's a Sakura donut bowl. And it's fried dough. And I guess it says it was crispy, but it's like, I don't know, soaked in honey. So it has a really dense texture. It's extremely dense, but it's also extremely moist because it's full of syrup, basically. And this one, I'm gonna be honest, I ate it a while ago and I don't remember what it tastes like, so I'm just gonna take a bite of it and see. It's a bit sticky. Ooh, that's floral. I was gonna say cherry, but that tastes like flowers and honey. Oh, that's good. The texture is so interesting. Because it still has that crumbliness of something that's fried. But then it's been rehydrated by sitting in honey. It's hard to describe, but it is delicious. This I also ate a while ago, so I want to taste it again. Ume Shio rice cracker. Both of these were broken when I got them, and that was upsetting. Usually, everything arrives intact, or at least one if there's like two of something. Sour. Woo! And now it's salty. Okay, well, Shio means salt. This is special salt from a place called Seto Island. It says there's supposed to be ume, so like plum flavor in here, but I don't taste it. It's mostly salt. Yeah. It says refreshing plum flavor and a hint of bonito, and I get neither of those. I just get really good salt. I guess it's like when you buy fancy, like that pink Himalayan salt or whatever. It must be like some kind of special salt. It's very good, but I can't taste any of those other things that are supposed to be in it. Don't know if that's just me, but... Oh, this was interesting. Sakura leaf senbei. I'll open this and show you. I was smart and I brought scissors this time instead of just ripping packages open. I had another one. These break too because they're so thin. I had another one like this and I think it was like prawn or some kind of seafood flavor. This one you can see all those flecks in it are the cherry leaves. This is salted cherry blossom leaves. And that says hints of shrimp and salt, so... Okay. Yeah, just salt. It's like salt, salt, bit of shrimp. I love the texture of these, though. It's almost like if eating styrofoam were pleasant. That sounds like a weird thing to say. But it's the only way I can describe that. These are so good. So these are shiso senbei. We had something else that was shiso flavored. I think it was candy. And I had never heard of it before. But then my friend said her mom grows it in her garden. So she had it before. So these are dipped in sugar and shiso. And then they're covered in pickled plum powder. Sweet. Definitely sweet. And then you get a bit of the sour from the plum. These taste the most like the plums that I'm used to. Yeah. I think in another video I described, I like these, I think they're Chinese candies, and they're like a hard candy that's basically just sugar, and then they have like a pickled plum in the middle. And this plum flavor tastes like that. It actually kind of reminds me of that because it's the sweet at first and then the plum is the finish. And unlike a lot of rice crackers, I can't really taste the cracker part. For me, rice crackers have a very distinct flavor, like even the cracker themselves. Maybe these are too thin for me to get that. Like, I was even getting it with the salt one that tasted aggressively of salt, and then at the end it tasted like rice cracker. Anyway, these are really good. They have a lot of flavor for being so tiny. And the collectible was the dish, which is really cute. But I can't tip it any further. I'm gonna dump this whole thing out. Is that it? That is it. Okay, so we're done. Anyway, this was a really exciting box. The one thing I will say about it is that unlike most other boxes, it didn't have a larger savory thing. Normally we have like a bigger bag of rice crackers or chips, or we had like prawn crackers, something like that. This didn't really have that because the biggest thing in it is this, the Carinto, and then the second biggest things are cookies and these rice crackers, but these aren't savory. I wouldn't call them savory anyway. They have a slightly savory finish, but they're dipped in sugar. They're pretty sweet. So I don't even know what to say. Normally I do a here's my favorite savory, here's my favorite sweet, but the only thing I can say for savory is this aggressively salt tasting thing. Because it is really good tasting salt. And there isn't really a whole lot else that's savory in this box, which is very weird. Sweet thing wise, there's too many sweet things in this box for me to pick. But I'm gonna say the mochi and maybe these cookies. Because I really love butter cookies. And these are very butter cookie reminiscent. And there's a lot of them and I like that. Special mention goes to Competo because it's kind of nostalgic for me. Like a long time ago, I used to go to this mall to like buy manga and stuff, and there was a store that had Competo there. So, little nostalgia trip. And also, I'm really excited about the tea. So thank you for watching me explore this other Sakura box. I think Sakura time is finally over, but I kind of did enjoy it. So I will see you next month for at least 2 free videos, because I have a Tokyo Treat box coming as well. So once it's May, I'll see you again.